Hi, I'm Chris Lyman, Human Rights Consultant, Washington, D.C. Badge number 220-80061. Certified Human Rights and Business Consultant with the U.S. Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights, Washington, D.C. Today I want to talk about something that interested me emotionally. It was the relationship of Chris and Vicky Cornell. Relationships in which there are two people who actually love each other, I would think, have some rarefaction. They're rare, aren't they? I have not had many relationships in which the other party or several parties did not want to sabotage the living daylights out of me. And then you start researching heavily personality disorders and comorbidities and what all the lies are and what all of the flaws are. So what interested me about them, both Chris and Vicky Cornell, yes, they're attractive, insanely gorgeous people. The Cornells were very gorgeous people. Vicky Cornell is an awesome beauty, insanely gorgeous woman. And Chris is very much a reflection of Vicky, Beautiful looking guy. Women love it, period. Anyway, so I thought that Chris and Vicky were a very impressive item because they were madly in love with each other. Vicky, when she sued or proffered a bid for Christopher's share of the band, I thought that was rather worldly of her. I don't want to use the word shrewd, but yes, a woman can be shrewd. Woman's smart. I don't think that is a detractor. I don't think that mars her character. I don't think the case, well, apart from predators in the free press coming after her because they're negative by nature, predators only have access, Sam Vaknin and Lydia Rangelovska, predators only have access to negative emotion. They don't have access to positive emotion. They come after that woman like she's an idiot. But there is hardly any proof positive that their brand of character assassination has any merit or carries the day. It doesn't. I just think that she needed, this is my husband. I need you to acknowledge this fact. She was as practical as Scott Whalen's wife. Scott, our relationship is about us. Not, let me reframe that. I'm glad you care about your fans, or at least you seem to. But our relationship is about us, not about them. It is about them with respect to a context, yes. Anyway, I just think that Vicky Cornell is there could not be a smarter, more beautiful, more deft woman in the world for Chris. I was really happy for Chris when all that came out. I thought Chris was an amazing person. I listen to Soundgarden a lot. I think the musicianship of Soundgarden is great. Chris Martin wears his earplugs. I think Chris was a one-of-a-kind performer. VH1 voted him the most amazing voice, the most operatic, with the most range. A voice like Freddie Mercury's, like Reggie Watts. Reggie Watts, I think, has 5 octaves. Chris Chris was himself a musical instrument, but Chris sang himself to death. But you know, and didn't switch careers. I'm not even saying it's that easy. Could you do it? Could I do it? Probably not. Not that easy to switch careers. You've got people pose all kinds of problems, oppositional and pathological. But anyway, I thought that Vicky, Cornell, and Chris were an amazing item, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Chris Cornell and Vicky Cornell were deeply in love. And she was on an interview that speech experts and law enforcement could have easily attacked, but the woman was telling the truth. With respect to Prince Andrew, he was attacked pretty heavily by the highest prognostication for unethical, sinister activities and proclivities. Vicky, on the other hand, is just an awesomely beautiful, intelligent, worldly person. And she said of Chris, which amazed me as much as Scott Weiland's wife amazed me. Awesomely beautiful, emotionally deep, sapient women, very strong women. Amazingly beautiful. But she said, when Chris was suffering that night, she said, "Chris, what drug did you take? I forgive you." I certainly have never had that kind of deep emotional connection to a woman. I love you, Chris, my sweetheart. I love you. I will never leave you and never betray you. And it was because of Vicky Cornell that I would tell frustrated people in society. I would make a joke out of it. And I saw your girlfriend at the grocery store, and they'd look at you. You did what? Oh, yeah. I saw your girlfriend at the grocery store, and do you know what she told me? She told me that she will always love you and never betray you. She told me. Thank you, Chris. You're welcome. Anyway, Vicky is an amazing person and loved Chris. And I thought they were just absolutely gorgeous, interesting, wonderful people. And I think Chris is still missed by every deep individual out there. And Vicky still misses Chris. Sam Bachman, there is no such thing as closure. You are always going to miss somebody that beautiful. You are always going to love and cherish and miss someone as beautiful as Chris Cornell. I love her. I love the band members. But I don't think, I'm glad the judge was there to mediate between the two sides. Vicky had no rancor for them. Okay, back to it. Back to the judge. Vicky had no rancor for those band members. She acknowledges Chris. She acknowledges the band members. Look, this is my husband's share of the band, and I need to appropriate this. And the judge is here to mediate. A good judge assigned to Vicky. Oh, God, I hope. But, I thought was very fascinated by all sides, was very fascinated by Vicky's approach. This is my husband's share of things. I have to appropriate this. This is my husband. Excuse my language, fuck you, this is my husband. I'm madly in love with my husband, and I have to appropriate this worldly aspect of our marriage and keep my husband's resources flowing back to my family and me. Okay, I have no rancor for you. No vilipenders, no aspersions. She was not there to be a slovenly histrionic and maledictum. And I would totally look at, a woman does not have credibility issues. The woman is not a histrionic, is not the female equivalent of a psychopath. So, jerks in the free press went online to misrepresent that woman. Anyway, Chris Cornell and Vicky Cornell. I wanted the opportunity to talk about them. They were very beautiful people, very fascinating, beautiful people who were very deeply in love. That's something I never had in my life. And I just wanted to take a moment to appreciate both of them for how insanely beautiful they were physically, emotionally, intellectually, and the way they were toward each other and their children. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm Chris Lyman, Human Rights and Business Consultant, USIDHR, United States Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights, Washington, D.C., boss lady and co-founder Isabel Vladoy. Three master's degrees in law, speaks English, is Slavic, also speaks English, and speaks Spanish. Woman is brilliant. I'm proud to have her as my boss lady. Thank you very much. I'm Chris Lyman. Call me Chris.